Hello, my name is Dr. Bob DeMaria. I'm the Drugless doctor, and today we're going to get to know Drugless at school. Several years ago, when I was doing my initial research on ADHD, it was very fascinating. I had read an article in one of the newspapers in our community, and it was talking about the amount of medication that ADHD children were taking throughout the United States. And there was a small community in the Midwest and the upper part of Michigan that 8% of the school kids were taking medication, a Schedule II drug for medication every day they were in school. It was reported that there was more Ritalin in the school principal's office than there was in the local pharmacy. See, medication for Ritalin is a Schedule II drug. So they keep track of where that medication goes to. What's occurring in our society today, that there are so many kids, that's estimated that nearly 5 million children today have been diagnosed with ADHD. Do you realize that there were 25 million prescriptions for ADHD alone last year? 25 million prescriptions. 45 million prescriptions for asthma. 7 million prescriptions for antipsychotic drugs, and 12 million for antidepressants. These are for kids under 20 years old. We have an epidemic in America today, and the epidemic is we're raising a culture that believes every symptom can be treated with a drug. Well, I'm here to tell you that these kids at school, unless we make a quick change, they're going to go from grade school to middle school to high school to graduating from college and being on an average of 3 to 5 medications, just like their Medicare grandparents. What I'm seeing now, as I've been practicing for well over 30 years, is that young girls not only are given one medication for depression today, they're given 2 medications. We're seeing a plethora of young kids that are taking cholesterol-lowering drugs. And you know what? It's not healthy. It's not safe. Do you believe in the United States today that I know that kids aren't even required throughout the United States to take exercise classes anymore? So what are we going to do? How are we going to create a drug-free society? You know, I've mentioned this before on the Get to Know videos. I want to say it to you now. It's been attributed to Hippocrates, let food be your medicine and medicine be your food. You know, there's some very basic big biblical principles when it comes to eating. We should eat food from seed-bearing plants. Today, most of the food in America comes from seeds that have been genetically modified. Companies are continuing to create seeds that have to be purchased over and over again. So even some of the foods that you're eating, especially corn-based foods, are coming from genetically modified seeds. Corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup, which will decrease a hormone in a child's body, in your body if you're an adult, called leptin, that tells you you're full, is nearly in 80% of all foods that we eat today. Corn is sourced from genetically modified seeds. So what you eat impacts you. Many of the preservatives that are in the foods that we're eating today, including sodium benzoate, which is in soda pop, sulfates and sulfites and nitrates that are found in your deli meats, cause food allergies. And common body signals for your child with food allergies is a runny nose, sniffling, maybe a little bit of a fever and a cough. So what do? You give them an over-the-counter remedy. Let me share this with you. Chronic allergies is oftentimes a digestive issue. So I want to share a few thoughts with you. I would encourage you to have your child focus on drinking more pure water. When it comes to eating food, if your child is having difficulty digesting their foods, okay, they may be drinking too many liquids with their meals, including soda pop and dairy products. I would encourage your child to drink water before and after a meal. See, the health of your child is all focused on proper digestion. Chronic allergies oftentimes is a digestive issue. Chronic runny noses. So what we need to do is we need to just really focus on what is going on with your child, what are they eating, what are they doing that could be compounding chronic health challenges that are causing them to take medications. As I mentioned to you, Ritalin, Adderall, Clonidine, these Schedule II medications are everywhere in society today, especially for your children at school. A very common cause that we have learned and what we have found that causes ADHD happens to be trans fatty acid, found in commercial grade peanut butter, breakfast cereals, and snack foods. Other issues that can cause health challenges in your child, including asthma, can be stress, lack of oil. Remember I told you 45 million prescriptions for asthma alone. Oftentimes, these prescriptions for asthma will prevent a child from sleeping through the night. What we have learned from our experience, one of the leading causes of asthma is exhausted adrenal glands. So I encourage you at home to have some red, yellow, or orange bell peppers as a snack, which is going to give your child vitamin C. Vitamin C helps the integrity of the lung lining, which is very significant. I have learned also, just discovered myself over time, listening to my adult patients and child patients, that even vitamins, or even oranges, which are healthy foods in themselves, if they're consumed in a large amount, that means every day, orange juice, anything citrus, could be the trigger that causes an asthma issue in your child. So what we're trying to do is I'm trying to create strategies for you so we have drug-free living at home and at school. But when it comes to school and they have pain, they have growing pains, we have often found that subpar thyroid function could be one of the leading causes of growing pains. Oftentimes, we just add a small amount of iodine, anywhere from 3 to 6 milligrams of iodine to your child's diet, helps take away those leg cramps at night, those growing pains that they suffer with on an ongoing basis. Chronic sinus problems, oftentimes caused by too much dairy. Dairy will congest the lymphatic system. So you want to avoid dairy, and I would conserve and use more almond milk, non-sweetened coconut milk on breakfast items like gluten-free oatmeal, maybe some quinoa. It's also okay to make wheat-free pancakes. Try some brown rice flour. Use applesauce on it instead of high fructose corn syrup. Because see, what you eat and what you feed your child is going to impact how their body is going to react. And you don't want to have allergy symptoms, which is going to cause them to take an antihistamine. You want to avoid the trans fatty acids, like I mentioned to you, which is the ADHD. If they're consuming a lot of citrus, it could be a reason that they're having coughs. So the major medications are asthma, antipsychotic, antidepressants. Always make sure that your child has a good source of oil. We encourage flax oil, 1 tablespoon per 100 pounds. Have some walnuts around the house and almonds, great sources of oils. Focus on whole foods. Minimize going to the franchise restaurants. Have your child participate with you actively. You can never go wrong with having to make sure that your child eats at least a half an apple every day. It will do their body good. I'm Dr. Bob DeMaria, the Drugless Doctor, getting to know drug-free living at school.